When collectors talk to me, it's rarely about investment or matching their couch, but what I have noticed over the years, the first thing that person says who wants to purchase original art or who did buy it already, that this piece really spoke to them, that they were able to see their own story in it and they connected on it on an emotional level. So today I want to talk about what makes art worth collecting, what gives it soul, and how do you know that this piece is meant for you. But before we dive into it, hi, my name is Esther Franchuk. I'm a professional artist, abstract painter. I make vlogs about my life, my studio, and everything around art. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will not miss any of the new videos. So imagine you're walking into the gallery, and when you're in the gallery, not every painting will appeal to you in the same way. And maybe you keep walking for a little bit and try to find more pieces that speak to you in some way, but then there would be this one really strong piece that you would just come back to over and over again, and you will keep coming to it because it pulls you in. It basically chooses you before you even recognize it yourself. And I feel like it's a really interesting emotional connection that we're able to experience with original art, where from the whole room filled with different pieces, you just really get stuck with this one, and it keeps on unfolding its own story for you, and it keeps on like drawing you in and inviting you to look more, to look for all of these details, to all of the layers of the meaning that it holds inside of it. And that's what I also noticed with running my own art shows and exhibition, that people will enter the room and they will roam around, but then they will stop at one painting and they will keep coming back to it, and then after some point they wanna actually talk to you as an artist, and they wanna ask all of these questions of like, why this piece, like what have you been thinking while creating it, like what it holds. And what it is usually is basically an invitation for them to tell their own story in the same time, because they see their own story, and sometimes the artist's story, it just really helps to start this journey of unfolding multiple layers that this piece holds, because it's never just your story as an artist in it. There's just a small fraction of it, but then there's all of the possible stories and meanings that collector brings on their own, and what they see in this piece and why it resonates with them, why it connects to them. This just super unique connection that they're experiencing with your art is basically the story of the painting resonating and awakening their own story, their own feeling, their own art journey, memories, experiences. It's just all in it. Another factor that makes art worth collecting is emotional longevity and timelessness. And this basically means that like when you buy a painting, when you have it in your home, it's not just something for right now, but it keeps on giving over the years that you're living with it. And as you live with a piece of art, it just keeps speaking to you in a different way, and maybe you connected with it in a certain season of your life, but then it's almost like it keeps unfolding, it keeps giving, it keeps just bringing different meaning, starting different conversations in the room. Every time you talk about it, you find out something else, and as you look at it, you find also different elements to look at, different things to wonder, like your eye is traveling through the piece, you keep finding things, and you experience it every time in a new way. And this leads us to the next factor of what makes art worth collecting, and that is not based on trends. If you look at the art history and all of the great artist names that we know these days that like are really loud, and if you look at their life and what they've been doing in their time, it was usually that they were really revolutionary. They were really going against the flow, against the grid. They were creating their own things. They were following the pull in their heart to create something new, different, beautiful. It was based on their life experiences, their emotions, and in most cases it was not aligned with what was common and trending in that time. And talking about today, there's many trends that are appealing in the art world, and one year this color story is trending, another year this technique is trending, and then everyone is trying to replicate it, and it's more common for the decorative art market especially. So you will see this a lot in coffee shops and all types of businesses, that they're just trying to stay on top of the trends and follow the main aesthetic for that certain reason. But this is not necessarily what makes good art that is worth collecting in collectible market, because trends pass, they start and they go, and they usually don't last for long, and once it's gone, it just becomes this another decorative thing that is not so much different from a poster or a print or wherever that is on this lower decorative side. So what makes a painting worth collecting is when it's really unique, it's really resonates with you, and It just has technique, it has medium, it has soul and story in it that is not based on trends. So as you have it for the years in your apartment or in your house, it lives with you, it grows with you, and it remains relevant. Which leads to the next one, that art worth collecting is actually the art you want to live with. It changes the whole atmosphere of the room, it uplifts the space, it gives you something to wonder, something to look at. So family and friends are gonna see their own stories in it, you're gonna keep talking about it. It's really gonna just keep on growing and giving. So buying original art is not a one-time purchase, it's actually a lasting experience. The last factor that I personally believe is what makes art worth collecting is really connecting to specific artist's story and journey. Especially talking about the living artist, you wanna know what the artist is living by, like what inspires them daily, why they create what they create, from what place they're creating, what is their personal story, what drives them and moves them, what sets them apart from the rest, if they're gonna keep creating, if it's something that is their lifelong obsession and profession and not just something they do as a hobby sometimes. I personally have art collectors that have been with me from the many years ago when I started with a completely different style, but they believed in me, they believed in my story, they believed that I'm gonna achieve everything I set my heart and mind to, and they have been purchasing my art all along on different stages of my journey, and I truly cannot thank enough for being part of my story in this way, because it really helped me to propel in my life and the art career and become an artist and the person I am today. So those were my main points that I believe make art worth collecting. Please share with me if you have any other thoughts and ideas on this topic. I always like reading all of your comments and seeing what you guys think. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.